they were the most dangerous, accomplished group of killers ever. And so when Denzel is pitted against his four brothers, if you will, you can only imagine the fireworks that happen, because they all know what they're going to do. They all are 10 steps ahead of each of them. So it's truly a chess game. You were watching a chess game in the third act. And it's a chess game like you've never seen before. I think I'm the luckiest producer working in Hollywood. I've got to do so many Denzel Washington movies now. I got to be the producer on the ones he's directed and starred in, and then ones that he's just starred in. And I'm always shocked, including today, when he is doing a scene that he'll bring, that calls for no humor, or calls for no compassion, or calls for everything, or calls for only compassion, and then he brings other things to them, like in today's scene where he's getting ready to end someone's life, but the opening of the scene, he's charming, and the guy that he's going to kill thinks that Denzel's his best friend. He has no idea what's about to come. That was not written on the page. That was what Denzel brought to it. That was what Denzel came up with in that moment as he's stirring his tea. That was, I mean, it's every take is a surprise. So when you get in the cutting room, it's just he gives you the greatest gift. It's like winning the lottery when you get to work with Denzel. Robert McCall always asks people and gives people a chance to do the right thing. And if they do the right thing, they will be let off. But most of them choose not to do the right thing. Most of these bad people choose not to do the right thing. That's the road that they've decided to walk down. So he has to put an end to that. He has to put an end to those bad people. He does give them a chance. He does want them to do the right thing. He really does. He believes in people. I'm personally incredibly proud that we got Denzel in a franchise. No one's been able to do that with him. So I was thrilled. And then when he agreed to do number 2, it's one thing to say, oh, this could be my franchise. And it's another thing, A, to make the first one work, which it worked financially and critically really well, hence Equalizer 2. And then that we were able to deliver a script even better than Equalizer 1, with new characters, with new action, with more exciting overall moments, with way, way cooler Robert McCall vision, if you will, Equalizer vision. You know, that was hard to do, and we pulled it off. We had to up our game. Richard had to up his game as a writer. We had to up our game as producers. Antoine certainly had to up his game as the director. I mean, when you're doing a sequel, you better deliver for the audience something better than the first. Plot-wise, character-wise, action-wise, smarts-wise. So it wasn't, we knew we had to do it, we just had to be clever about it. And it took a while. I mean, we did the last one, what, 4 years ago? So it takes a while to get it right. We weren't going to rush into it. I remember Denzel calling me one day, and he said, really what this movie is about is it's about a father and a son. And he said, I have to learn to become a father as Robert McCall, and Ashton needs to accept me being there for him, and I have to treat him as my son, and I have to steer him. And he said, that's what the core of the movie's about, and we can't lose sight of that. He said, you know, Antoine can't lose sight of that. You guys can't, Richard can't. And I think Denzel was right. I think the kind of the grounding of the movie is watching this beautiful relationship between Denzel and Ashton. Denzel has to be a real person in this kind of crazy action movie, and Antoine has figured out how to bring this action and the movement of the camera and the scope to this movie, and then he's learned how to quiet it down for Denzel. So it's almost like an accordion. He knows when to bring it together, he knows when to pull it apart. and he knows when to make it loud and when to make it quiet. He and Denzel really trust each other. I mean, this is their 4th movie together now. When you find a movie star who's such a great actor and a director who is really specific, I mean, Antoine's action is so unique and so specific, and you can merge them with a great story, it's magic. As a producer, it's your dream. And they both really respect what they both are the best at, and they let each other do what they're best at. Denzel understands what, even if he doesn't quite get what the action is in the scene in the moment, he knows that Antoine does. It's a lot of trust. And same with Antoine to Denzel. He knows Denzel's going to hit his mark and give him 3 different amazing takes that he'll have a choice in the cutting room on.